there's basically, and again, I think it goes back to everyone in our industry has been incredibly focused on CAC, right? So lever number one, most obvious lever is like, well, I'll just lower my cost of acquisition and I'll try and pull that lever. For almost everybody, there's a floor for that lever, right? So I think that's one to think about. But as we move down the customer life cycle, in trying to think about maximizing that contribution profit, one thing that is obvious but is almost never or is rarely pulled, I think, out of fear from a lot of founders, is raising prices, right? So that's one other lever that you can have. Is there's almost always headroom to raise prices beyond the level where you're comfortable with. Now, I'm not saying go out willy-nilly and just raise prices 10% across the board. There's lots of nuance on pricing strategy and how to do that correctly. But I think because people are so focused on CAC, they're like, well, if I raise my prices $5, my conversion rate's going to drop, and then my CAC's going to go up, and all these different things. And a lot of times what you see in practice is people do that. They see a temporary dip in conversion rate, and then it kind of like comes right back, right, to where it was. And so raising prices, I think, is a highly underestimated lever. The next thing, sort of marching down the P&L, I think there's often room in that variable cost bucket. So what I spoke to before about shipping costs, fulfillment, packaging, things like that. Now, these are places that are not sexy, and they're often not the first place that people look. And I think sometimes people get caught up in a lot of the DTC Twitter kind of like customer experience conversation, and it's all about unboxing, and I won't discount that at all. I think it's incredibly important to create a great customer experience, but saving a little bit of money in that bucket can make a big difference in the bottom line. So that's another one. The other place you talked about discounts.
So like less tissue paper.
Less tissue paper, or just digging in and paying enough attention to realize that FedEx is charging you accessorial fees that you don't need, right? And so renegotiating with your carriers, being a little bit of a stickler on that, trying to find the best 3PL, or at a certain scale, starting to think about bringing fulfillment in-house. We've seen, we have one customer who's a subscription customer who basically went from negative 11% net income to upwards of 20% net income by changing their supplier and actually bringing fulfillment in-house. So there's certain things that are, that's a big scary thing to bite off, but like
that does sound scary.
In terms of the profit swing, I mean, it's massive. It's an incredible thing, and it can create great amounts of freedom and really juice your valuation if you're able to do it correctly. Another one is not many people measure this, and this is a money number, but is the difference between your gross profit and your gross sales and your net revenue. So we take out discounts and returns, as well as including shipping costs and taking out and taxes collected from customers. So charging customers a little bit for shipping sometimes, right, can make a huge difference in that swing and take you from, if the customer is purchasing at $100 and you're after a discount code and after after giving away free shipping and things like that, right, you're capturing maybe 94 of those dollars. Well, maybe you can add $1, even a nominal cost for shipping, add $1 for shipping, so you're up to 101. Now you're at 95. You can reduce those discounts. Now, instead of capturing 91 or $94, you can capture $95, $96 on every purchase. And that gets dropped straight to the bottom line of your business, right? So these little things that are high up on the P&L, to use finance speak, can drop dollars all the way down.